is Joshua Guerrero. I'll be hosting. I always do. It's always me. Don't worry. You're at least gonna have one of three things on this podcast. It's gonna be me. That's for sure. The bird might make a sound. I think he's making a sound right now. If anyone can hear him. Then three, the dog. Dog is not in here right now. It is what it is. Uh, you got me. So let's do it. Let's go from there, and we'll continue on. Uh, Today I got three reviews for you. Got Invincible season 3. Then the Lynchathon continues. Let me bring this a bit closer. The Lynchathon continues with Lost Highway. Then, last but not least, we get into Mickey 17, the new film from Bong Joon-ho with Robert Pattinson starring. So we can get right into all this. But first, before I go into that, kind of wanted to touch on something I didn't get into last week, so I didn't have enough time. But it's been on my mind heavy, and that is Harry Potter reboot. People have been going off the rails talking about this reboot just from the casting that's been announced so far. So far, I think I'm pretty sure the only thing we have confirmed so far is John Lithgow to play Dumbledore, and Snape is gonna be black. I don't know the actor's name. That's how much like I've been hearing, but I don't. I've been hearing so much about the race of the actor that I don't even know his name. But either way, I'm gonna give my opinions on that real fast. First with Dumbledore, I love John Lithgow. I loved him since I was younger. Like I'm not in love with him, like not on some Call Me by Your Name stuff, but definitely like been a fan. My mom and me used to watch Third Rock from the Sun when I was a kid, like all the time. So seeing him as Dick, like that really solidified it. That's my like, oh my god, I love this actor. Of course, I knew him actually before from Shrek, Lord Farquaad. I didn't know at the time that it was the same person. I hadn't even seen Third Rock from the Sun when I saw Shrek. But after seeing Third Rock from the Sun, I'm like, okay, yeah, this guy is the real deal. And then just so on and so forth through his career. And I even talked about him last week on in the Conclave review. So yes, absolutely love John Lithgow. I'm excited for him as Dumbledore. I mean, I'm excited for him as anything. He could play my stepfather, and I'll be watching. But and then we go into the Snape actor, which people just can't seem to wrap their minds around. I will admit there's been some funny jokes. There's been some funny jokes. But um me personally, I don't give a fuck if Snape is black. Why are people freaking out about this? It's like people have like Alan Rickman in their memory, right? And they can't imagine Snape being anything else. Alan Rickman was already Snape. He did it for 8 movies. Let it be. This is not the same thing. This is literally its own production of Harry Potter. I know people don't like to compare stage and screen, but it's the same thing. Actors are acting, they're actors, right? So anybody can play anything. In my opinion, I think there's some lines where it starts to get a little blurry, like should a white guy play a black slave in America? Um, Probably not. Well, not because I don't think he could, but more likely because it's fucked up, you know? But can a black guy play a fictional wizard in a book about a fictional world in a fictional school? I think the answer is yes. For me at least, doesn't bother me at all. If it bothers you, I'm so sorry that you're dealing with that. Um, Hopefully that you can get some more important things to care about in your life. If not, hey man, we all got those rough times. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Like, although, like I said, there have been some funny jokes. Like, let me think. I saw one earlier. It was basically the punchline is I thought only Sirius was black. Uh, no laughs. Okay, all right. We'll move on from that. We'll move on. All right. Invincible season 3 is the first media we will be touching on today. Aside from that little spiel about Snake being black. Invincible season 3. Season tres. Tres? Trois. Okay, yeah, season three. Um, I've been watching Invincible since it came out. I've been a fan since it came out. Um, if I were to compare seasons one, two, and three, I'll say probably one and three are the strongest ones so far. I liked season two, but one and three have been were really really solid. One is probably one of the best seasons of cartoon superhero anything of all time. Honestly, I loved Invincible season one. I think Invincible is such a strong property to begin with. Like, I'll go at it even further. I love Robert Kirkman. Robert Kirkman has not. I haven't seen anything from Robert Kirkman that I myself did not enjoy. We can start with The Walking Dead. I've loved The Walking Dead. I think I first started watching it when it got into its right before the third season. I binged season. Well, no, no, okay. Oh, actually, no. This goes back even further. One day, one random day, as a child, not a child, but preteen, I was in Best Buy with my mother, and I was looking at the movies and TV shows, and I saw the cover for the first season of The Walking Dead. I was like, "What is this? I never heard of this." And the cover itself just intrigued me. So I begged my mom to buy it. I was like, "Please, I've never seen it, but I really want to watch it." Blah blah blah. And she bought it for me because my mom was the best. And I took it home. I binged that first season of The Walking Dead, and I actually was like blown away by it. But at the time, I didn't have cable, and I didn't have any other way to access the show. So I didn't get to see season two when it came out. It wasn't until before the premiere of season three that I was able to get onto. I think it was on Netflix. I was able to get it on Netflix and watch it, and I loved season two. Honestly, like looking back on it, season two gets a lot of hate. I got water this time, guys. Don't worry. I'm not gonna the whole time. Season two was like really really good. Looking back on, it, I know it gets a lot of hate because of it being kind of boring. I can imagine watching it week to week might have been boring. There are some shows like that, but when you go back and are able to binge them, they're truly just great television. It's just weekly formats sometimes suck for some shows. But that was TV at the time. You know, at the time, it wasn't as popular for shows to be released all at once. I mean, Netflix was doing it, but other than that, it was not catching on at the time. But then you get into the next few seasons, and I watched all of The Walking Dead up until I watched it weekly until about season seven, I think. And I wasn't one of those people that like saw Glenn die and was like, I'm not watching it anymore. I can't. I'm done. I just wasn't able to watch it, and I fell off on it. I went back a couple years ago and I rewatched the entire thing. And yeah, really solid in a lot of parts. I'll say that. There are some parts that are not as solid, but that doesn't have anything to do with Robert Kirkman. I actually read the Walking Dead comic book as it came out up until I think well up from I read the first two compendiums and then I wasn't able to access it for a while and then I figured out a way to get to it and I started reading from I want to say around the Whisper War, like I was like it was like in the middle of that I was able to catch back up on the comic and I watched and I read the comic as it released issue by issue until the end. I remember reading the last issue of The Walking Dead. I like how this has turned into a Walking Dead review. I remember reading the last issue of The Walking Dead, not even knowing that it was the last issue, and being like, "Oh my God, Rick just fucking died." Yeah, that hurt. But I've still loved it all the way up until that point. I love The Walking Dead, one of my favorite properties of all time. And we can get into the video game at another point because that's another 20 minute rant of how much I love The Walking Dead. So when Invincible was announced, I had never read Invincible. I had heard about it, but I had never read it. So when it was announced, I was like, okay, another Robert Kirkman property. I'm down. I'm in for this ride. First two seasons, great. Season three, I didn't watch it right away. I don't know. I'm doing this. I'm in school now. It's like there's so many other things that I have to deal with. And so I wasn't able to watch it right away. And I was like, you know what? That kind of works out. I can binge it either when it's all out or like towards the end so I can watch like the last one. That's actually what I ended up trying to do, but I kind of missed the mark a little bit. I was able to binge it and I finished it like the day or two after the last episode premiered. So I was able to see everything and not get too spoiled. I did see a little bit of spoilers because I mean, It's all over the internet, people talking about it. It's hard not to see clips here and there. So I was spoiled a little bit by the ending of the season, but for me personally, spoilers aren't a big deal. I never really have been. I've always been the type of person that like looks for spoilers because if anything, it just like it hypes me up more. I'm like, oh, I want to see how this actually plays out in time. Like I remember watching or not watching, but I was on a Facebook group that had Walking Dead spoilers where people would like take pictures of the set, leak characters, and all that thing, and I was like, okay, cool, cool, cool. I've always been into spoilers. It's never really been an issue for me. Um, so we go into the last season. This last season of Invincible. Like I said, it took me a while to start as opposed to other seasons. Other seasons, I was there from day one for the most part. But in seeing all those spoilers, like it made me want to watch the season more in the sense that I wanted everything to hurry up and get to the really good stuff. But I'm glad that I actually sat through it and watched every single episode. I've never been one of those people either that like skips around. That is weird to me. I have an uncle who skips chapters in books. That's strange. If you do that, um, I don't know if we can be friends. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, I'd seen some spoilers that made me want to watch it more and made me wanting to hurry things up. But like I said, I actually really enjoyed the build up to the ending of the season. Like some of those middle episodes weren't as strong as the end of the season, but they were still really solid. Like one I really liked was the time travel one, where he goes to the future and sees um I'm about to call him that motherfucker Invincible. The guy, immortal, trash mortal. See him in charge of Earth, and you know, I thought that was really interesting because I do know some spoilers from the end of Invincible. Like I've actually seen the last panel of Invincible. I know a couple of things that happen sprinkled throughout. So it's interesting to see how they kind of alluded to some of those things without outright spoiling anything per se, other than the fact that Mark isn't on Earth. And you could even watch it and be like, this must be like an alternate reality, because we don't know if you're just watching the show. You have no idea if that's actually the ending. But I thought that was really cool. I loved a lot of the VAs this season, a lot of the new guests. It's crazy how Invincible is turning into like this reunion for all these shows. It was a Walking Dead reunion, now it's a Breaking Bad reunion. I think that's so cool. I really liked Aaron Paul's Powerplex. My only thing about Powerplex was that I feel like his episode kind of dragged on. I don't know how it plays out in the comics, if it's like one continuous thing or if it's like a couple different things that he shows up a few times. I don't know, but seeing by the end of that episode, it was kind of redundant. His message like, "All right, bro, I get it. You don't like the guy. That's cool. You don't like him. Kill him or something." And then he kills his own family and blames it on Invincible. I'm like, all right, bro. It's gonna be like that the whole time. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So, but yeah, I still liked it. It just wasn't like I said, it kind of like dragged near the end for me a little bit. But then it leads right into the Invincible War, and those last two episodes really feel like one long movie. I think it would have been really interesting if they had released them as one like special, but I guess I get why they didn't. It kind of would break format a little bit, but it would have been cool to see. I think it would be cool if they ended up releasing another cut of those two episodes together as one long thing. They could do that. I'd be down with. I'd watch it again. Uh, I liked a lot of the new characters. I loved Oliver. I like he was introduced in season two as a baby, so he didn't really do much. Now he's a little bit older. Because his species ages faster than humans because they have a shorter lifespan. But which we're not sure. I'm not sure at least how that affects how being half Viltrumite affects that. It could derail the whole thing and make him live forever too. Who knows? uh, but watching this season, it really made me want to read the comics. Like I'm definitely, even though I said that last season too, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna read the comics, but I didn't. I started them, but I didn't finish it. Uh, but this time I think I really am gonna read the comics. So I actually might end even talking about the comics at some point here before season four comes out. We'll see. I'm not making any promises to anyone. All right, not even myself. Um, I think it's I loved, I just want to say I loved that last episode. The whole conquest fight was amazing. It looked amazing, sounded amazing. I like how I didn't read the comics, of course, like I said, but I know that they've sprinkled in a lot of original stuff into that. I think it's really interesting to see as the show's going on how much original stuff they're introducing to the plot. Like I know that in season four, there's gonna be like a whole show only plot that didn't happen in the comics, and it's because Robert Kirkman says that it's kind of like him going back and rewriting it even better. He has all this knowledge now. He's a better writer now, and he's going back and he's doing it better. I think that's so awesome to be able to do. I'm sure that's just like an amazing luxury that he feels like for himself. So I can't wait to see what he does. Like I said, Robert Kirkman has never done anything that I've read or seen that I didn't like. So that's all I gotta say about that. It really makes me wish that The Walking Dead could get an animated treatment. I've been saying this for years too. If they could make an animated version of The Walking Dead that follows the comics exactly, it would be fire. The Walking Dead comic is so good and also just so different from the show to the point where it would be its own thing. I don't even think it would have to be the same actors. If they could do their own thing completely and just change it, change all the actors, do a whole new thing. I would love to watch that. All in all, for Invincible season three, very solid superhero show, very solid season of said show. 6 out of 10 for me, honestly, great. Uh, Next, the Lynchathon continues. Lynchathon continues, guys. Lost Highway. I watched that today, actually. This is another movie that I had no idea about going in. That's with most of the Lynch movies, but did I read anything about this? I don't think I even read anything about this. I had zero expectations going into this, and I think if anything, I heard it was kind of one of his crazier films. But I think I read that on ChatGPT. Like, it wasn't anything that I read someone's review of the movie or anything. Um, I'll just say if it's regarded as one of his crazies, it delivers on like every single front in that sense. It felt like this long nightmare that like if you ever have trouble sleeping, right? You wake up, you had a dream, you wake up, you go back to sleep, you're back in the dream, but it's slightly different. It felt like that, but in movie form. I don't know how else to describe it. It felt like this one thing that you just kept falling in and out of you and you were switched up every time. I loved that about this. Um, when in the beginning when Fred is in the cell and he switches out for Pete, he and everyone's like, this is some spooky, like even the guards is like, this is some spooky shit, sir. And I'm like, okay, so this is what we're doing. Because even before that, right, you got the scene where they're at the party, the house party, and Fred sees the evil guy. I don't know his name. I'm just gonna call him Evil Guy. Creepy looking, vampire looking motherfucker, right? He's in the party and he's telling him, I'm at your house right now, bro. Call me. Gives him the phone, answers in the house. That part, from that point on, I knew I was in for a wild fucking ride. And I was like, all right, this is gonna be good. Um, but yeah, when they switch in the cell, I'm like, okay, well, I guess we'll see where this is going. I was like, as it kept going on, I'm like, well, where's Fred? Are we ever gonna get back to Fred? Is he like, because in my mind, I was thinking they switched bodies, right? I wasn't even seeing it yet like a complete like delusion or a complete like fantasy. In my mind, they switched. So like Fred was off doing other shit and then Pete was doing this shit. I don't know, but I was waiting for Fred to show back up again, and then towards the end, when he's with Alice and they're running away, I'm like, okay, well, I guess he's not coming back. That's fine, I guess. I guess we'll see how he ends this. In my mind, I was like, interesting to start the movie off that way and then just not go back to it until, dude, the scene where Pete's having sex with Alice on the like in the sand, right? And they're fucking whatever. She whispers in his ear. Or no, he whispers in her ear, I want you, whatever. And it's kind of like a theme throughout the movie of him of, lust and want. And it goes into her and she whispers back, right? You'll never have me. I was like, what the fuck? Did y'all I'm looking around and nobody did. Did y'all see that? Did you hear that? And then he stands up, right? And it's Fred. I was like, nah, bro, this is crazy. This is some other fucking shit. I loved that. I was like, all right, cool. I was so happy that the movie proved me wrong. I'd never been more happy to be wrong about a movie in my life. I'm okay. Yeah, I don't know how serious it is about that, but I was blown away by that. I was like, all right, so this is some real shit. This is some real shit. Um, like I said, I loved being proved wrong. That was so amazing. Great performances in this movie from everybody that was in it. Everybody. My favorite though had to be Robert Loggia, right? His performance in this movie fucking like he either was making me laugh or he was making me feel really uncomfortable. I think about the scene where he's driving around with Pete, right? And they're getting tailgated by this guy. He's like, all right, come get up, go around, go around. And the fucking dude flips him off, right? Cool, cool, cool. The fucking pit maneuver this motherfucker, right? Come out the car, his goons are beating his ass. Motherfucking pistol whips him and shit. Pistol whip that boy for 40 minutes. Then he's like yelling at him like to learn how to drive, but like not in any normal way that someone would tell someone to learn how to drive. Literally like get a driver's manual, learn how to drive. And he's like, promise me you're gonna get a driver's manual. And he's like, I'm gonna get a driver's manual. I was like, all right, that's fucking hilarious. I was laughing my ass off, I'm being honest. And then, like right after that, right, he pulls back up to the shop. He pulls the fucking videotape out. He's like, Borno. And he's like, oh no, I'm okay. He's like, he's like, gives you a boner. I'm like, all right, yeah, okay, cool, okay, yeah, I love it. I love this character. One of my favorites in the whole movie. Um, gives you a boner. That was fucking hilarious to me. I'm sorry. All in all, though, this was a really great movie. Uh, one of my favorite from Lynch so far. From Lynch so far, I have to be honest. Wild at Heart was okay. I mean, it was nice seeing Nick Cage in a younger role and him going all crazy Nick Cage. That was cool. I liked it, but this felt like a return to form for David Lynch, and it really feels like he's most comfortable in this space. I don't know if that makes sense, but in a movie like this, it's like he feels at home and he feels like he can do anything and he trusts the audience to go along with it and to understand it the best way they can cuz he's not going to spell it out for you. He's never going to tell you what it means. That's for damn sure, right? So he's going to give you this movie, you're going to watch it, be along for this ride, and then you just have it stuck in your mind, right? Like I know I'm gonna be thinking about this for the next week, right? Like it was that good. Uh I really got nothing bad to say about it. Honestly, 9 out of 10 film for me. I want to watch it again. It was so good. Um, Next we get into Mickey 17. Uh, this is gonna be an awkward one, guys. I'll be honest with you. I anticipated this movie since it was announced. Robert Pattinson. I love Robert Pattinson. I've loved Robert Pattinson probably for the past like 5, almost 10 years. Um, I think it really picked up in when I saw The Lighthouse. Oh, I'm about to do that coughing shit, right? It really picked up when I saw The Lighthouse. And seeing him act in that, I was like, "Oh, this dude is an actor. Like he's really acting out here." And then I think I watched Good Times or Good Time after that, and I was completely blown away. And ever since then, I've been watching every single thing that he's been in. I'm not skipping a Robert Pattinson movie. He's gonna do so good, blow your socks off acting, like blow your fucking dick off, come all everywhere acting. So when I saw that Robert Pattinson is gonna star in a movie by the guy who directed Parasite, Bong Joon-ho, I was like, okay, so we're about to get top 10 movie of all time, right? Top 10 movie of all time. I've been hyped for this movie so long. And look, you know what? I'll even say I'm not being completely fair because I only have seen Parasite. I haven't seen any other Bong Joon-ho movie. I haven't even seen Snowpiercer, right? So I'll even preface it by saying, you know what? Maybe I'm not the best person to review this movie, but I watched it, so I'm gonna review it. Uh, so if I had seen other things, maybe my expectations would have been curved on this, but I haven't, and I wasn't as impressed with this as I expected myself to be. Like, and honestly, it's real disappointing. I really thought I was gonna go into this and watch one of the best movies of all time. Um, I think technically it was all great, right? Amazing set design, like those sets, the whole film of fear, the whole feel of the movie was absolutely phenomenal. The direction was great. He is not a bad director. He is amazing director. You know, he does all these things so good. Cinematography was amazing. All the shots were beautiful. So many great shots in this movie. The acting was amazing. Robert Pattinson fired on all cylinders in this. You know, absolutely. Everything was in place to make one of the best movies of all time. But just something about this movie did not hit with me. And I think that my biggest complaint would have to be the actual script and story itself. I never read the book. It makes me want to read the book because to see how much it's different. I've heard some people say that it differs from the book in so many ways that it doesn't touch on these deep, thought provoking things that the book does. Um, but just with the script that we have here and that I'm watching, you know, there are so many things that get brought up or get shown, and then they're just never shown or touched on again, really. Like the whole there's gonna be spoilers here, guys, but the whole part where Mickey 17 is talking to that girl whose girlfriend died in the on the planet, and she starts hitting on him and she wants to fuck him and shit, but he wants to be with his girlfriend. I can't remember her name. Uh, he wants to be with his girlfriend, but so he doesn't get with her. But then she like confronts the girl like, "Oh, I know you got like she sees 17 and 18, right? She's like, "I know you got two of them in there. You know, let me have one. You can have one. I get to fuck one. You get to fuck one. We can share the experience, you know." And then that just like nothing happens. Like that plot line that ended right there. That was it. And it's like that was like 10 minutes of the movie, 10-15 minutes of this movie, and then it just doesn't go anywhere. And I don't know, I don't know. That's just one example off the top of my head that I was thinking of. Another part that oh, I mean, she does come back, right? I wrote this down. She does come back into the movie at the very end to do this. She literally, like, I don't know if that's to the audience or who the fuck that was to, but yeah, just to do that. Um, yeah, and then the end of the movie just fell flat on its face for me. The whole there's this whole dream sequence at the end that just comes out of nowhere, right? There's no dream sequences in this movie. There's flashbacks. Yeah, there's flashbacks. There's no dream sequences in this movie. And they go into it. He just is like, I've always had bad dreams. I can't do the accent. I've always had bad dreams. Okay, you're telling me this now? How much longer is this movie? Like, I'm like looking at my watch, like, don't we, isn't this movie about to be over? Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, are they introducing a whole nother plot? Because it doesn't tell you at first that it's a dream. And I'm like, are they really doing this right now? Just for him to be like, I've always had bad dreams. You know, like, okay, well, that felt like a fuck you to me. Like, all right, cool. All right. It just, I don't know, caught me off guard, left a bad taste in my mouth. And yeah, that just brought the movie down for me. I don't know, maybe. And I'm watching, I'm like, am I being too critical right now? Am I? Is it me, Jesus? Like, is it me? Like, maybe it is me. Shit, I don't know. But if it's me, then it's me. I really wish I liked this more, you know? I really wish I liked this more. I think it'll be really it's really polarizing, right? Like I think you either love it or you hate it. I don't but that being said, I don't hate it. I liked it. I'd watch it again. I know people that would like it. You know, it just it just didn't hit the way I wanted it to hit for me. My wife loved it. She said it's one of her favorite movies of all time. Like I said, like there it's gonna either you're either gonna love it or you're gonna think it's kind of mid. And I'm in the mid category. I could see it being a cult classic one day. I could definitely see that just based off star power. Robert Pattinson movie, Bong Joon Ho, got Steven Yeun in there, Invincible. You know, if he's invincible, how come we can see him? All right, sorry. Um, yeah. All in all, though, the film just did not grip me like I thought it would. Like I really hoped that it would. Like I was really going into this thinking I was gonna be blown away, and I just wasn't. So I was very disappointed. I'm gonna do something I haven't done before. I'm gonna give this a 5.5 out of 10. Right? Like I want to give it that 6 real bad, but it's just not not quite there. Like it's better than average, right? But it's just not quite above average. So I'm gonna give it a 5.5 out of 10. That's all the reviews I got for you guys today. Let's see. We're gonna look up his filmography. I think next is in my Lynchathon. I think next is the Straight Story. I think. Yeah, the Straight Story. So might be a two-part Lynchathon next week. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure exactly what next week is gonna look like, but you're definitely gonna see the Straight Story. You might see Mulholland Drive, which I've heard is insane. So we shall see. And if nothing else, fuck it. We'll do Inland Empire too. Round out the Lynchathon. And then I'll tell you next week if I do end up finishing the Lynchathon what I want to do next because there will be another athon. I already know what the next director that I'm gonna watch is. I'm not gonna tell you guys. That's a surprise. Okay, that's a little surprise from me to you. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure exactly what next week's gonna look like. It's gonna be something like that. It might be some other things. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've been watching. Restarted Game of Thrones just because I love that show. We won't talk about the ending, but look, we won't talk about the ending of Game of Thrones, but we can say, and I will say, I will die on this hill that up until about, for me personally, up until about season 7, I was into it so hard. I loved everything. Some people think it fell off around season 4 or 5 or whatever. I loved all that. Loved it. Blah blah blah. Loved when Danny invaded Westeros. I loved all that. It was up until that last season. They really just fumbled it for me. Like hard. Like when I say it like this, I liked season 7, right? I love season 7. Season 8, it just felt like a different show. The writing was bad. The dialogue was bad. The acting felt forced. Like every single thing that you love about the show, that I loved about that show up until that point, just completely flipped. And I was like, and I had seen some spoilers, right? And one of those things where you're not sure if it's a real spoiler or not. People are just bullshitting. And I was like, oh yeah, from the first episode of season 8, yeah, this is bad. It's gonna be bad. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm anticipating watching. Don't think so, but you know what? We'll see. I'm playing it by ear, guys. Could be a 3-part Lynchathon ender next week. We'll see. That's all I got for y'all today. My name is Josh Herrera.